machines meant to help us are out of control.
Developers had a difficult struggle in 2020 and 2021. Due to the worldwide health pandemic, many quarantine orders and shutdowns were issued. As a result, some video games we were looking forward to were delayed. In 2022, that should make for a jam-packed year for video games. We've put up a list of video games that we cannot wait to play. It's tough to rate these games until all of them are out and 2022 is over. So here are our recommendations for the finest new open-world games in 2022. Without further ado, let's move into the video. Number 10. Atomic Heart.
I don't even know.
Atomic Heart is set in an alternate 1955 timeline in which the Soviet Union has made significant technical advances. Players assume the role of P3, a KGB special agent charged with visiting a plant that has gone quiet. Players will have to journey inside a region ruled by robots and strange animals to figure out what's going on with this facility. We've been waiting a long time for this game, and we're hoping that Atomic Heart will be released before the end of 2022. However, in terms of the open-world aspect, we'll have to wait for additional information on how significant of a map the player will be able to explore. We know that several portions of the factory are included in the game, but how large the map is for players to explore and what they will do in this universe remains to be seen. Number 9. Avowed. Obsidian Entertainment is noted for releasing some of the most well-known role-playing games in the industry. These people have previously released games like Fallout New Vegas, Pillars of Eternity, and The Outer Worlds, to mention a few. However, we know that the company is working on a new RPG called Avowed. It's situated in a fantastical universe, and that's about all we know about it. It might be a challenge for Bethesda's The Elder Scrolls brand, but it's difficult to predict what this game will be like now that both companies are under Microsoft's ownership. Only one teaser for Avowed has been released, and it didn't reveal anything about the game's gameplay, plot, or setting. Nonetheless, as this is an Obsidian Entertainment game, we have great hopes. Number 8. Forspoken. Frey Holland, a young lady, is transported into a dangerous fantasy realm called Athia. Frey must fight against aggressive creatures, explore the vast universe with her smart bracelet, and eventually find her way back to New York City in this action RPG. We're still waiting for further information on this game, but the gameplay footage released thus far displays a fluid and fast-paced environment to play in. There are a variety of terrains, from rugged mountains to lush woods. Number 7. Saints Row. A new Saints Row game is in the works, and the response thus far has been divided. Although the game has not yet been released, some longtime fans are concerned about how this iteration will turn out. We're following a new gang coming to dominance in this game. Set in a fictional American Southwest metropolis, rivalries have already formed, making gaining a reputation a problematic task. New characters will retake control of the streets, though it's unclear whether the gameplay will be as extravagant as previous installments. So far, we only know that this game will be released in early 2022, so more information should be available shortly. Number 6. Fable. There have been suggestions that Microsoft will not put the Fable IP on hold indefinitely. Fable is making a big comeback with a relaunch, which is excellent news for fans. Adventure, making decisions, and exploring the open world has always been central to Fable. We know that Playground Games are developing the game. If you're not acquainted with the moniker, Playground Games is the firm behind the Forza Horizon series. Consequently, this will be a unique project for the firm to work on. While it's evident that the development company can create stunning scenery for the Forza Horizon games, we're not sure how well they'll handle an action RPG, especially one with a large fanbase. Number 5. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild was a critical and commercial success for the series. It immersed players in a large open-world setting, with Link saving the day once again. It is a must-have title for the Nintendo Switch, and it came as a bit of a shock to learn that a sequel was already in the works. It was announced at E3 2019 that a new chapter would be released, featuring a fresh new plot and gameplay features to help build out the universe we are currently familiar with. Unfortunately, we don't know much about the sequel yet, and it's unclear when we'll be able to play it. However, we're curious to see how the world will alter and whether any new places will be included. Number 4. Starfield. The Elder Scrolls and Fallout are two of Bethesda's most well-known series. On the other hand, the production team was interested in releasing a fresh IP into the market that would ideally achieve the same level of popularity and recognition as its previous video game releases. Starfield is a Bethesda-developed science fiction video game announced as a next-generation product that would be released before The Elder Scrolls 6. While the next-generation consoles are now available, Bethesda has yet to unveil what Starfield is all about. So far, we've learned that the game takes place in the future when humanity is conquering space. The story takes place 2 decades after a significant faction war. Our protagonist will be a space explorer who will go to many locations. The specifics of the idea, however, have yet to be revealed. Number 3. Dying Light 2 – Stay Human.
Just give up. Keep them busy. They stop.
During E3 of 2018, Dying Light 2 was revealed, and we are again thrown into the apocalyptic zombie world and forced to fight for survival. The game will take place in a new metropolis where groups are constantly fighting for control of the territory. On the other hand, the makers provide players more flexibility by allowing them to pick from various paths, each of which has its own set of repercussions. It is an open-world game in which players can move around freely. If you go outside the city walls, you'll have to fight the undead, but it appears that living inside the walls isn't always safe either. Dying Light 2 will take place 15 years after the first game's events and will feature the same violent zombie monsters. However, they will be more sedentary during the day and more aggressive at night. Meanwhile, our heroes will be able to engage in more parkour combat this time around. Number 2. Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Zero Dawn by Guerrilla Games was one of the most popular PlayStation 4 exclusives. After humanity had fallen, this was an action role-playing game set in the distant future. Nature has seized control, and robust mechanical monsters roam the landscape, forcing humanity's survivors to retreat to small tribal communities. Because so little is known about the realm of metal, exploring historic city buildings has been frowned upon. Meanwhile, in the first game, players assume the character of Aloy, a young lady who was expelled from her tribe when she was just a baby. Now that she's grown enough, Aloy is trying to figure out where she came from and why the tribe would send an innocent infant away. Horizon Forbidden West appears to be the title of the sequel. Players will once again assume the character of Aloy, who discovers a new viral scourge sweeping the country. Aloy is obliged to travel to the Pacific coast to identify the source of the epidemic to resolve the situation. However, she will come across several new mechanical animals and other hostile forces along the route. Number 1. Elden Ring.
Discover hidden dungeons.
There were a lot of people who were looking forward to the release of Elden Ring. It is a brand new game from Software, the creators of the Dark Souls series. Players experience more violent fighting and rich mythology in this game. We have a big open area to explore this time, with aggressive adversaries, castles to capture, and tombs to discover. We know that there will be various pathways and even endings in this game. Overall, this means that your campaign will have some flexibility. Furthermore, because the game world is so huge, players will have horses and a rapid transit mechanism to make the journey simpler to handle. And with that, we conclude the list of the top 10 new open-world games in 2022. That ends today's video. Let us know what you think in the comment section, and click like if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to click subscribe, make sure all the alerts are turned on, and as usual, thank you so much for viewing this video. See you next time.